Welcome to Back to Basics yoga series. It's an 8-part series that looks at an introduction to basic yoga poses. Today is part 8, and we're doing a series of poses called a Sun Salutation. Now, I like to refer to the Sun Salutation as the original burpee. It's really good for all-around fitness, all-around muscle building, strength conditioning, and flexibility. Traditionally, you would do 108 sun salutations. And today we're looking at the classical sun salutation from a traditional Hatha yoga practice. Often you hear about sun salutation A and sun salutation B. Those are specific to an Ashtanga yoga practice, which is done to a steady beat of a metronome. And it is a very athletic yoga practice, not so much focused on alignment. And you need a great deal of skill to be able to complete the Sun Salutation A and B series. Today, focusing on the classical Sun Salutation, it is a much softer, much kinder flow that you can work through. Now, most of the poses we've done already, and we will be doing one new pose today, plank pose, which I'm sure you're familiar with. But again, a softer, kinder version to find a modified sun salutation that fits your body and your ability. So, let's get started. Sitting tall, feel free to sit on a rolled up blanket or a yoga block or a rolled up towel. It's up to you. Your legs do not need to be crossed. Make sure you're comfortable and able to sit tall. Rest your hands on your thighs, however you feel comfortable. Palms up, palms down, doesn't matter. Close your eyes. If you do not want to close your eyes, bring your gaze downward. Then deliberately deepen your breath. Feel yourself sink into your breath. Relax the shoulders. Let your legs and hips feel really heavy. Now lift the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Feel the spine lengthen. Now keep that and just gently pull the fronts of the shoulders back, opening up through the front of the body, opening through the heart. For your next breath in, sweep your arms up. Bring your hands together overhead and let your hands flow down, palm pressing to palm. Again. Inhale, arms sweep up. Hands come together overhead. Exhale, hands float down. Let's do that 2 more times. Move your arms with your breath. Tune in to your movement and your breath. One of the key features of a sun salutation is moving into and out of the poses with the pace of your breath. The end of the 4th breath here, just pause with your hands together right in front of heart center. Just taking a moment just to be still, to breathe. Release your hands. Open your eyes, and let's come to standing pose, into mountain pose at the top of your mat. So standing in mountain pose, a pose we know very well. Feet hip distance apart. You can feel the 4 corners of each foot, weight equal on both sides of the body, left side and right side. Belly button draws in, there's strength through the core, rib cage pulling in so that it's balanced, aligned over top of your pelvis. Fronts of the shoulders pull back. Shoulder blades pulling in towards the spine but sliding down towards your hips. Crown of the head reaching up. Easy peasy now, right? We've done this many, many times. We're going to do it a few more today. So let's tune into the breath. Move arms with the breath. Just inhale and sweep up. And exhale, sweep down. Do this for a couple more breaths. Try not to make your breath too deep so that you don't get lightheaded. Just kind of go with what naturally feels good for you. Just feel your body beginning to warm up. Feel the length coming to your body as you reach up. Feel the stretch. Now let's sweep out and up. Bring the hands together overhead. Let your hands float down, palm pressing to palm, just like you did when you were sitting at the beginning. Now inhale, let the hands float up, and release out. Do this a couple more times. Feel your body opening. Feel yourself get a little bit braver with each breath. Feel your gaze going up as you want your body to open more. The freedom that comes with movement and the breath, it's exhilarating. That's one of the fundamentals of a classical sun salutation. Let's take one more full breath, finishing with hands in front of heart center, standing in mountain pose. This is the beginning position for the classical sun salutation, typically done at sunrise or at sunset, traditionally, but not necessarily. Pause here. Let's take a breath. With the next breath in, just let your arms come up, bring your gaze up, coming into volcano. Another breath in, and this time as you exhale, dive down. Let your arms sweep wide, dive down, bend your knees on the way down so your fingertips come to the mat, coming into your forward fold. Full exhalation. Now use the power of your legs by pushing your feet into the mat. Now sweep out and up. Sweeping out is really important here. Coming back to volcano pose with your breath in and exhaling. Hands come together, hands float down. Hands resting in front of heart center. So that's the first 3 poses in sun salutation. Mountain pose with hands in Anjali Mudra. Volcano pose, forward fold, moving with the breath. Let's take a breath here. A single full breath separates each sun salutation. So here we go. Let's do that beginning again. Inhale, hands come up. Bring the gaze up, volcano pose. As you exhale, arms go wide, bow forward, bend your knees on the way down. That saves the lower back. Make sure your fingertips come to the mat. Fold into your forward fold. You just want to feel a gentle stretch in the back of the legs. Now take a breath in and step your right foot back. Yes, we're adding on now. Coming into a low lunge. Now drop your knee down. We're going to transition carefully here, coming into table pose first. Now getting ready to do a cobra. So turn the eye of the elbows forward. And as you come forward, push your shoulders in front of your wrists, bend your elbows in towards your rib cage. Come down into your cobra and look forward. Just a gentle cobra here. Now this can be a tricky pose, right? So just take your time, take a breath, keep your eyes slightly forward. It doesn't have to be a big cobra. You don't need to be here. It might take you a while to build up to something that has a deeper back bend. stay in a baby cobra. Now from here, push your knees into the mat. You're going to push back to a child's pose. There we go. Child's pose. Inhale, come to table. Toes curl under. Exhale, downward dog. Let's pause here in downward dog. Walk your feet towards your hands. We're still modifying here. Now step the left foot back. There's your low lunge. Pause here. Step forward. Forward fold. Exhale. Deepen the bend in your knees. Use the strength of your legs. Ground the soles of the feet. Sweep up with the breath. Coming back to volcano pose. Hands come together. Exhale. Mountain pose. Now that is a full sun salutation. The degree of difficulty is up to you. So let's explore that just a little bit here. Inhale, hands sweep up. Exhale, dive down, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, right foot steps back. Now here we come into plank. Left foot goes back. You can have your knees down, that's up to you. Make sure the eye of the elbows are forward, and as you exhale, come down to the mat, bending your elbows towards your rib cage, and as you inhale, just lift your eyes, look forward, coming into a baby cobra. Keep the knees pressing into the mat. As you exhale, push back to child's pose. Inhale, table. Toes curl under. Exhale, downward dog. Walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale, left foot steps back, because we have to do lunge on the other side. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, use the strength of your legs, sweep up. Remember to sweep the arms out. It saves the lower back. Hands come together. Pausing in mountain pose for a full breath. All right, now fine-tuning just a little bit more. Getting ready to add the step through for the second lunge. Inhale, reach up, volcano pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right foot steps back. Exhale, plank. Remember, you can keep your knees down. Coming down, elbows hugging in towards the rib cage, and as you inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, table. Adjust your table if you need to. Take your time. Toes curl under. Exhale, downward dog. So it doesn't necessarily mean your very next exhalation. It means on an exhale, lift to downward dog. Now we stepped back with the right foot, so now we're going to step forward with the right foot. So think of lifting the right foot, opening up through the right hip. Bend your right knee and then step your right foot forward. So there's our lunge on the left side. Exhale, left foot steps forward, forward fold. Use the strength of your legs, the soles of your feet, sweep up. Hands come together. and float down. So typically, you move into and out of each pose with a breath in or a breath out. Let's take it a little more slowly now and explore a little bit deeper. Take a breath. Sink into the soles of your feet. Feel grounded through the base of your mountain pose. Now inhale, let the hands float up. Pause here. Long body. Palms turned inward, thumbs pointing behind. You choose if you want to lift your gaze at all. That's up to you. A full breath right here. With your next breath in, just reach up. Find a little more length throughout the whole body. And as you exhale, bow forward. Sweep the arms wide. Take your time with your breath. Fingertips come to the mat. Deep exhalation. Inhale, right foot goes back. Stay in this low lunge position. Take a full breath. Now take time to plant your hands. Bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot. Wiggle your left foot out and step back to plank. You can have your knees down on the mat. That's up to you. Now spin the eye of the elbows forward. Think about bending your elbows towards your rib cage and pushing your shoulders in front of your wrists. This is push-up pose, right? When you come down, chaturanga is the official name. And just slowly hug in. And then let the belly come down to the mat. Let the pelvis feel heavy. Bring the eyes forward, coming into your Cobra. You choose your Cobra pose. Pause here for a breath. Or something that I enjoy doing is just exhaling. And then inhaling, doing another little Cobra. And exhaling. Knees pressing into the mat, toes curl under. Use your hands to push the mat away as you bring yourself back to child's pose. Push back to child's pose. Just let your hands slide to the mat. Allow your hips to sink. Keep the arms active because this is an active child's pose rather than a resting child's pose. Let's call it active rest. That works. Now come forward into table. Find your table pose. Toes curl under. With your next breath out, lift to downward dog. Double check your alignment in downward dog. Use your hands, fingertips to the heels of your hands, ground down through the base of the index finger knuckle. Shoulders feel broad. You can feel your arm bones pushing your shoulders towards your hips. Feet hip distance apart. You can feel the stretch in the back of the legs. Not pain. You just know that there's something happening. You're creating change in your body. Now ready to step the right foot forward. So you shift your weight onto your left foot, strengthen through the arms so both arms stay long and the elbows do not soften as you shift your weight. So the right leg lifts, open up through the right hip, bend your right knee, step your right foot forward. Think of swinging it to the outside of your right hand. And then bring your right hand to the outside of your right foot. Lift your eyes, look forward. Here's your low lunge on the left side. Take a breath. And as you exhale, left foot steps forward. Coming into your forward fold. Now bend your knees. Use the strength in your legs. We're not hanging out here too long because we need to come up. So inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Keep your gaze straight ahead if you feel a little bit dizzy. And exhale, hands come together, hands in front of the heart. So typically, you also do a sun salutation leading with your right foot and leading with your left foot. So that was the right side. We actually did the right side twice. So let's do the left side this time, which means when we do the step back to the low lunge, it's the left foot that leads. When we do the step through, when we move from downward dog into low lunge on the right side, we step through with the left leg. So here we go. Focus. Take your time. As you inhale, the hands go up. Volcano pose. Exhale, diving forward. Forward fold. Inhale, left foot goes back. Remember, leading this side with the left foot. Bring your eyes to the top of the mat. Feel yourself sink into your hips as your eyes move forward, rather than looking at your right foot. Now bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Plant your left hand. You're going to shift your weight, your shoulders over top of your wrists. Wiggle your right foot out and step back to plank. The version of plank that suits you. Knees lifted or knees down. That's up to you. Make sure the eye of the elbows are forward. Bend your elbows towards your rib cage. Hug the upper arms in as you come down onto the mat. And as you inhale, lift to your little cobra. Exhale, let's release the cobra. Let's do one more little cobra, because movement through the spine is always good, especially when it is not a common movement for you. Now pause here, eyes looking right down at the mat. Toes are still curled under, knees grounded on the mat. Take a breath. As you exhale, push with your knees, push with your hands, push back to child's pose. Let's pause here for a moment in child's pose just because it feels really good. Keep the arms active. Inhale, come to table pose. Find your table. There's no rush. Rushing and yoga do not go together. It's just like rushing and breathing. It's not easy to do. How do you rush and do a deep breath? Curl your toes under in preparation. Ground down through the fingertips, the base of the index finger. Exhale, lift to downward dog. Now you can do up to 5 breaths here in downward dog. That's up to you and the pace of your practice. I love a downward dog. Love to linger here. It's so good to stretch out the lower back, the sides of the body. Such a good pose. All right, now leading with the left leg. So we need to step through with the left foot. Shift your weight into your right foot. Use your arms. Engage through the elbows. Don't let the elbows soften here. As you lift the left leg up, rotate open through the left hip, bend your left knee, and swing your left foot forward to the outside of your left hand. Bring your left hand to the outside of your left foot. Lift your eyes, look forward. Take your breath in. With your next breath out, step your right foot forward. As you exhale, forward fold. Soften your knees. Push into the earth, rise up. Root down to rise up. Hands come together. And float down, palm pressing to palm. Now I like to think of Sun salutations, not quite so regimented, but just to move through each pose as it feels good with your own breath. Just remembering to move into and out of a pose with your breath, with the inhale, with the exhale. Let mind, body, and breath move together, come together on your yoga mat. So arms sweep up with the breath in. I'm going to take a full breath right here. Next breath out, bowing forward, diving down into the forward fold. I'm going to take another full breath right here. It's always better to linger in this forward fold if you want a deeper stretch in the back of the legs than the second one, because the second one you need to make sure that you've not got your head lower than your heart for too long, because you're going to rise up to mountain pose. Now leading with the right foot here. So it's the right foot that's going to step back. Take your breath in, right foot steps back. A long lunge. Now a little modification here. If you want to get a deeper stretch into your hip, you can come down onto your right knee and bring the gaze forward. It will stretch out the front of the hip a little bit more. Now breath in, breath out. We're going to swing the left foot back to plank pose. So here we are in a half plank. You can lift to full plank, that's up to you. Try not to look at your hands, look at the top edge of your mat. Now spin the eye of the elbows forward, get ready for your Cobra pose. Actually, we transition through something called 8-point pose. Minus, well, it's really only 7 points. So 8-point pose, you come down onto the mat, and it's your chin, your chest, your 2 hands, your 2 knees, and your 2 feet. Those are the 8 points of you that are connected to the mat for 8-point pose. And then push through to just lift up, sink the hips, coming into your Cobra, and soften. Now turn your head to the right and just relax your arms for a moment. Let your head feel heavy, relax the shoulders. Engage the arms, hug your elbows in towards your rib cage. Bring your eyes forward, and as you inhale, just open up through the throat. Pull your chin away from your chest to come into your baby Cobra, and exhale. Turn your head to the left. Relax the arms. See, there's all kinds of modifications and all sorts of ways that you can play within the Sun Salutation. Hug the arms, the elbows in towards the rib cage. Bring your gaze forward. We're going to take a breath in this time. See if you can lift a little higher. And then release. Using the arms, feet, toes curled under, knees pressing into the mat. Take a breath. And as you exhale, push back to child's pose. Keep the arms active. Release your grip on the mat, but keep the full length of the arms here, so you can really feel a stretch from your hips to the tips of your baby fingers. Come to table. Take time to find your table pose. Remember, you want wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Softness in the back of the heart. Let the shoulder blades poke your heart forward. Feel the shoulder blades snuggling into the spine. Toes curl under. With a breath out, lift to downward dog. So we have the right foot step back, which means the right foot is going to step forward here. So shift your weight onto your left foot, strong arms, grounded hands. Right leg floats up, open through the right hip. Bend your right knee and swing your right foot forward. Coming into your forward lunge. Remember, you can drop your left knee down if you want a deeper stretch into the hips, and you can bring your gaze farther forward. As you sink into the hips, you feel the stretch. Take a breath in, lift your knee if it's on the mat, and as you exhale, step your left foot forward. Coming into your forward fold, soften your knees, inhale, reach up. Slowly make your way up to the top of the volcano. Hands together. And pausing here in mountain pose. So we stepped back with the right foot. This time we're going to step back with the left foot. We explored Cobra and 8-point pose. This time let's explore downward dog a little bit. Let's inhale, let the hands float up. Exhale, bow forward. Pause here in your forward fold. Lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Really deepen the stretch in the back of the legs now that we are pretty well warmed up. Sun salutations are always great for building heat, getting the body moving. So left foot is going to step back here. Left foot steps back. I'm going to come down onto the knee, because I like the stretch into the hips. It feels so good. Breathe into that intensity, the intense stretch in the hip. Remember, you can have your leg, your knee floating off the mat. That's up to you. The level of intensity, up to you. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Wiggle your right foot out, step back to plank. Hold your plank pose. Feel a little bit of strength building here through the core. Spin the eye of the elbows forward. Make sure you're ready to come down into your 8-point pose. So knees down first, then elbows, bend into your push-up pose, 8-point pose. Push through as the hips sink. Coming into Cobra. And exhale. Take a breath in. Exhale, push back to child's pose. Straight back. Push back. Sink into the hips. It always feels good to linger here. Come back to table with your breath in. Toes curl under. Downward dog. Ground down through the hands. Arm bones pushing the shoulders towards the hips. Relax your neck and let your head feel heavy here. Now let your rib cage pop open. So you want to feel the fronts of your rib cage kind of pushing towards your thighs. Now ground down through the heels. Keep the micro bend in the back of the knees, but just deepen the stretch in the back of the legs. One more breath. We'll make 5 breaths here in downward dog. Working with the left foot. Remember, this is a left side sun salutation. So I'm going to shift the weight into the right foot. Strengthen through both arms. Keep the strength and length in both arms, both elbows. And float the left leg up. left foot up, open up through the left hip, bend your left knee and step the left foot forward. You can keep your right knee floating off the mat or drop the right knee down. Bring the gaze forward, kind of sink into your hips here. Feel the stretch. As you take your breath in, lift your right knee off the mat if your knee is down. As you exhale, step forward. Coming into your forward fold. Remember, we do not linger in this forward fold. We soften at the knees and rise up with the breath in. Keep your gaze straight ahead. Hands come together and float down. Breathe. Here we go. Right side. As you inhale, let the arms float up. Exhale, dive forward, coming into your forward fold. Linger here in the forward fold. Really feel your body. So if you're feeling like you can reach for the back of your calves here, your ankles, go ahead and deepen your forward fold. Release and bring your fingertips to the mat. Bend your knees. Right foot steps back. This is a right side sun salutation, so right foot goes back. And I'm going to keep my knee off the mat this time. Wiggle my right foot a little farther back than before because my hips are feeling much better now, much looser. Bring your gaze beyond the top edge of the mat. Left hand comes to the inside of the left foot. Plant your right hand. Shift your shoulders over top of your wrists. Left foot steps back to plank. Hold your plank. Now moving through to chaturanga, push-up pose. I'm going to bring the knees down because we've done a few chaturangas now. So to avoid injury, find a little more support, a little more ease in your plank pose by modifying, doing this half plank version. Elbows spin forward, bend your arms, upper arms hug in towards the rib cage, coming down onto your chest and your chin for 8-point pose. And as you inhale, let the hips feel heavy. Exhale, lift to Cobra. And release. Arms strong, use your knees, toes grounded, inhale and push back to child's pose. Now here in child's pose, come up onto your fingertips. So lift the palms of your hands away from the mat and ground down through the fingertips like you've got cupcakes underneath your palms and you don't want to squish them. Now push your fingertips into the mat and pull your thumbs in towards each other. Really engage through the arms here. Actively keep the thumbs pulling in towards each other. Building strength through the upper body, the arms, the shoulders, without weight bearing. Using isometrics to engage the muscles. Make sure you're breathing. Now relax the hands, plant your hands. As you take a breath in, shift to table. Toes curl under. exhale, lift to downward dog. Find your downward dog. Breathe. Downward dog is another active resting pose. I had a yoga teacher tell me once, and I believe this too, that once you find downward dog to be a rest pose, you have become a true yogi. When you look forward to a downward dog in a sun salutation, you have arrived. Right leg's going to lift here. Bend your right knee and step your right foot forward. Wiggle my left foot back. Sink into the hips. With a breath in, you step the left foot forward. And a breath out, forward fold. Knees soften. Sweep up with the breath in. And as you exhale, hands come together. Mountain pose. One more slow sun salutation with the left side. So leading with the left foot. Left foot steps back, left foot steps through. Here we go. Breath in. Breath out. Let's pause here for a breath. Long legs. Feel your weight centered over the soles of your feet. And this time, let's dangle. Right hand reaches for your left elbow, left hand reaches for your right elbow. You might need to deepen the bend in the back of your knees here to hang, and that's okay. So what this does is gives you a really long stretch on the sides of the body, from your hips to your armpits. A little bit of traction through the spine, because you feel the full weight of the upper body, the shoulders, the arms, decompressing the vertebrae in the lower back. Release your hands. Fingertips come to the floor for support. Now step your left foot back. Remember, this is a left side sun salutation. Left foot steps back. I'm going to wiggle my left foot back and bring the gaze forward. Sink into the hips. Right hand comes to the inside of the right foot. With an exhalation, right foot steps back to plank. You can do in full plank for your push-up pose, or drop the knees down. Do your push-up pose to come into 8-point pose as the chest and chin come down to the mat. And as you exhale, hips sink. Inhale, lifting to Cobra. And exhale, coming down. Legs strong, hands firmly grounded, breath in. Push back to child's pose. Long arms, but release the grip. Your hands softly let go of the mat. Sink into your hips. Hips sinking towards your heels. Inhale to come to table. Toes curl under. Don't forget that part. And as you exhale, downward dog. Steady yourself with your breath. Reconnect to your breath in downward dog. Soften through the belly. Just draw your breath in deeply. Shift your weight onto your right foot. Keep both arms long and strong. Left leg lifts. Left knee bends and swing your left foot forward. Coming into a high lunge or a low lunge, bring your gaze forward. You choose the modification for you. And feel free to mix it up. Right? Sun salutation is just a way to play, explore. With a breath in, the right foot steps forward. Breath out. Bow. Soften the knees. Sweep out and up with the breath in. Hands come together. And right back where we started. All right, we're going to do 2 sun salutations now. Sun salutations now, one on each side, following the breath. So let your breath set the pace of your practice. And don't worry if your speed is different from mine, because that's what happens in a sun salutation. And you need to focus what's happening in your body and on your yoga mat in your yoga practice. So I'm going to try and guide you and take it slowly, moving just one breath at a time. Inhaling, the hands go up. Exhaling, bowing forward. Inhaling, right foot goes back. Exhaling, plank. Inhaling, chaturanga. Exhaling, 8-point bow, 8-point pose. Inhaling, Cobra. Exhaling, child's pose. Inhale, table. Exhale, downward dog. Right leg up. Inhaling, right foot forward. Exhaling, left foot forward. Inhaling, lifting up. Volcano. Exhaling, mountain. Pause for a breath. Left side. Inhaling, volcano. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, left foot back. Exhaling, plank. Inhaling, chaturanga. Exhaling, 8-point pose. Inhaling, Cobra. Exhaling, child's pose. Inhaling, table. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg up. Left foot forward. Exhale, right foot forward. Soften the knees, sweep up, inhale. Exhale. Take a breath. I love doing sun salutations. but I prefer the slower exploratory approach. You can explore the sequence of poses through the Sun Salutation in your own time, in your own speed, on your own mat, your yoga practice. Inhale, let the hands float up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, right foot back. Exhale, left foot back. Inhale, chaturanga. Exhale, all the way down to the mat. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Now widen your knees in child's pose. We're going to linger right here. Soften the arms. Support under the forehead. Mat, hands, blanket, whatever it needs to be. Breathe. One more breath. I wish it could be longer, but time is running out. Let's press up. And swing your legs round in front of you. I want you to sit on a rolled up blanket or a yoga block. Feet flat on the floor in front of you, knees bent. So the only issue with a Sun Salutation is there is no twist in the sequence, ever. So we need to add a twist to make our yoga practice complete for today. So, left hand reaches under your left leg, reach for your right ankle. Tuck your right ankle underneath your left leg. So your right knee is pointing forward. Now hop right foot to the outside. So hop your left foot to the outside of your right knee and sit tall. Sit really tall and then think about sinking the left hip down into the mat. Right hand holds the front of your left knee. Left hand comes to the floor beside your hip. Pull the left shoulder back. As you inhale, just reach through the crown of the head. Consciously lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, just turn to look to the left. Looking towards the back of the room, to the corner behind you. You just breathe deeply into the belly, feel the rib cage expand. Move the breath beyond the twist in the spine. It's really important to keep the vertebrae healthy with whatever level of twist you can manage. You can deepen your twist by turning your head even more, but that's not necessary. Now exhale, release the twist, coming all the way back to center. Hop left foot over and untuck your right foot. Ready to twist in the other direction. Right hand reaches under your right leg, grab your left ankle. Tuck your left ankle underneath your right leg. Left knee pointing forward. Now hop right foot over to the outside of your left knee. Left hand holds the front of your right shin. As you exhale, drop your right hip into the support underneath, below your hips. Right hand comes to the floor. Roll the right shoulder back. You can already feel yourself beginning to twist. Take a breath, reach the crown of the head up, lengthening from the tailbone throughout the whole upper body. And as you exhale, just gently turn to the right, looking to the corner behind you. A gentle twist, and reconnect to your breath. It's really important to breathe into the belly with a twist. The philosophy, or the science behind the twist, is that in this position, there is as you breathe, you expand and contract the torso, the upper body. There's stimulation to all the internal organs, stimulating blood flow. So it has nothing to do with detoxing or whatever you've heard about that. It's just about circulation, working the diaphragm here, your breathing muscle also, because it has to work harder in a twist. It's like weightlifting for your diaphragm. A deep breath in and a deep breath out. Release the twist. Uncross your legs. Let's bring toes to the top of the mat. Come off your blanket and roll all the way back. So here we go. All the way back. Stretch your legs out. Arms at your sides. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. We're not quite done. Almost. Just relax the legs for a moment. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Bring some movement into the wrists. We did a lot of weight bearing on the wrists today, so let's just give those a good rotation. And now bend your knees. Get a sense that your ankles are underneath your knees and your heels are in line with your hips. So your feet are hip distance apart. Let's bring the hands beside the hips, palms turned down. Now inhale, just sweep the arms up and over. Now hold your breath just for a second or so as you stretch and do an extra little bit of reach here. And then exhale. Whew. So continuing with the theme of moving with your breath. Inhale, arms float up and over. Hold your breath just for 1 second as you have an extra little stretch, reaching your fingers away. And then exhale, hands come to your sides. Again. Just hold your breath just for a second or so and stretch. And bring the hands back. Last one. Reach. Now, adjust the placement of your feet. I want you to feel like your feet are really grounded here. Feel the four corners of each foot. Follow the big toe, inner heel. Follow the baby toe, the outer heel. And your weight is perfectly balanced, right? So your knees aren't falling out or falling in. Hands at your sides. Let your shoulders and the back of your head feel heavy. Now we're just going to lift the hips ever so slightly while the hands sweep up and over and then back down beside the hips. So here we go. Just a little bit of a bridge flow. So inhale, hands sweep up and then lift the hips. Reach, and hands come down. Hips come down. Again. Hold the breath just for a second or so as you have a reach. Keep the hips floating. Doesn't matter how high they are. And then back down. Everything returns to the earth. 2 more repetitions. let yourself completely sink into the earth in between each breath. Got one more repetition to go. Notice how much you hold on until you consciously tell yourself to let go. Completely sink into the earth at the end of your exhalation. Stretch your legs out. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath you so your palms turn up and you rest on the back of your hands. You can go ahead and close your eyes. Coming into final relaxation, we're going to work a little bit on pranayama, which is breath work here. So a little bit of box breathing, just to extend that little bridge breath exercise that we were doing. So box breathing is excellent for reducing anxiety and stress. You inhale for the count of 4. Hold your breath for the count of 4. Exhale for the count of 4. Hold for the count of 4. So just soften your breath, sink into the earth. We're going to do 4 full breaths. Now I'm going to count my count of 4. It's okay if your count of 4 is slower or faster. Follow your body's lead. So exhale completely. Now inhale for the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the exhalation. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold the exhalation. 2, 3, 4. Let go of control of your breath. Let the breath, the energy, the life force in your body just even out for a moment. Feel the inhalation begin to deepen and the tension melt away. With your next breath out, just feel yourself soften and sink in. Now draw a really deep breath into the belly. Really expand the belly as big as you think it can go. And then exhale out through the mouth. Do another breath, just like that when you're ready. And then one more. Allow your body's own ability to breathe to take over. Settle into your body's natural pace of breath, whatever it is in this moment. Notice the sounds that are way out in the distance. And let your presence wander away from the yoga mat for a few breaths. Now reconnect to the sounds around you. Tune into your breath. And reconnect to your physical body by just bringing little movements to your fingers and toes. Hands and feet. And now movement into the arms and the legs and the rest of your body. Bend your knees one at a time, placing your feet on the floor. And the next breath or two, when you're ready, roll onto your right side. Just move in whatever way feels comfortable to you. And when you're ready to settle in, roll onto the right side. Use your right arm to support your head and neck. Linger here for another couple of breaths. Feel yourself slowly returning to the outside world, beyond the yoga mat. Not quite there yet, but just slowly transitioning. Press up. Bring yourself to a seated position. Sitting tall, hands together at the heart, eyes softly closed or gazing downward. Taking a moment to be grateful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be loved. May all beings be at peace. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.